this.
That was the gusher, 2,500 barrels a day, and they couldn't cap it. It was 4 days blowing out of control. They put a leather bag on the pipe, filled it full of flax, stuffed it down the hole, the flax swelled, and they kept getting smaller and smaller until they had a 3/4 inch pipe with a valve on it, and they could put fuel in. The people who came here scavenging the oil were absolutely incredible. They came with everything, with barrels and buckets and bottles. And one guy came with a shoe with a hole in it, put the shoe in it, and then poured from the hole of his shoe into a bottle to get the oil. So that when BP had its disaster, I think they should have come here and asked how you handle this stuff. You should give the fishermen the right to get the bloody oil rather than try and take it down and kill everything underneath. This was a big deal. There was a group of investors who came from England, and what they wanted to do was build a tramway from here to Dresden, fill up a boat with crude oil, take it to England, and fill the coal oil industry in England. The business plan was brilliant because that's exactly what happened in the Eastern Seaboard, the United States, with the coal oil industry. They had 70 plants there, and they very quickly converted to crude when they had the opportunity to do that. The problem with this business plan was that by the time they got the financing, if they ever did, the wells ran dry. Within a year, we had only 2 going. But then, this well and the one with the man on it, who was my brother-in-law, who's a mountain guide. Okay. If you draw a straight line between those two and go equidistant between them and drill a well, you're going to be able to get oil from either one because those two are connected. And so he drilled a well and got a dry hole. But what happened back then was that they would lease, I think it might have been 1/4 or half an acre. They'd drill a hole in the center of the successful, they'd drill 4 holes on the side. So they could rob as much of their neighbor's oil as they could. Log capture still exists out here because we have where the gushers came from at the 250-foot level. There's still oil getting into that, and its high is over here and it's low over here. There's a person who used to pump water like mad to try and draw it across the field. Successfully, as he drew it across on various operators, they would pump like mad to keep it going. They would put water in to try and keep the level up, and they would throw iron filings in the guy who's getting in next door. You know, there was constantly some kind of war. Hence, we have the Ministry of Natural Resources that looks after these kinds of unlawful procedures and makes sure that people are pumping oil in a responsible way.
You got a year's supply of food right there.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Everybody knows. I don't know if this one's going to work. If this one's a little too subtle, but on these things you can actually feel where the valves are hitting. And on this one, right there. So we're pumping about that much fluid for that much stroke, which is a very inefficient thing to do, but because it's on the jerker system, we don't care that much. Because we're balancing things off. And it also tells us when the valve cups are going bad on it. Because it'll start getting higher and higher.
Does it flow by gravity to the tank? I see here's your little flow line.
No, it's all pressure. This is the stuffing box with rubber rings in it, so it makes a seal here, then a T, and then it comes off that T, and that actually is pumping to a tank over by that silver building over there. So we're going to beat the buck up here. Doing okay.
Are you the welder that makes the
No, that's Mary Watson.
Yeah, that's not your.
He had a blacksmith shop up here, or a welding shop. I had a bunch of those wagons in the barn that were tore down, and people have those wagons around here, and they're artifacts. They mean nothing. They're just something. And I wanted to put them in context so they start to tell a story. So I asked him if he could make some horses. So he's up and made horses, and he just kept going.
That's great.
The most recent one he's done is Stephen Harper. I have Stephen Harper's head That's all I've got.
On a bike? You want his head?
I put him on a skeleton. We put a Santa Claus suit on him and stick him on a wagon in a hardware store.